8:05 is your time. Welcome to the boy gram. We got another boy in the studio.
It's a very important boy. It's a very respected doctor.
Yeah, say hi to Dr. Chamara Ratnayaka, who is in the studio with us. He's going to be answering a lot of questions with regards to the vaccine and also maybe COVID-19. Let's actually get into some of the questions that we've been getting.
We had a couple of questions to start with.
Yeah,
right.
always
Dean, start with your one, Dean.
Off air.
When we say it's a doctor, he's a doctor and he's a driver.
You are a doctor, I'm a driver.
He drives to work listening to the showgram as well.
Exactly. He's a silent listener.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dean, your question, your burning question.
Now, this question I actually asked him even before I got vaccinated.
Yeah. But nothing like doing it on live radio.
Yeah. No, this was actually on behalf of many of our showgrammers.
Sure.
Our good friends.
Sure, that's why.
Who actually messaged me and asked me to ask the good doctor.
Right.
Whether or how long do you must wait in order to consume alcoholic beverages after you've got the jab?
If I were to get a rupee for every time I've heard that question, I would be a millionaire by now. It's a good question. It's something important, I'm sure, because there are a lot of theories and there's a lot of conspiracies going around. You hear in social media as well that some people have been told not to consume alcoholic beverages, but the truth is there is no hard and fast rule as to when or whether you can or cannot per se. Right. There is no rule saying that you cannot consume alcoholic beverages. It's just about timing it so that So the problem is that in the first couple of days after the jab, you probably will feel a little rubbish. You might feel a couple of body aches here and there, etc. You might have a fever. So
usually
it kind of is probably feels like a hangover already, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't suggest, unless you really you hate yourself, won't want to put your body through that again.
Yeah. Right.
So probably hold on for a couple of days.
But you know what Sri Lankans usually do when they're tired.
Yeah.
They have.
Yeah. No, not everybody. Not everybody. No.
They say when you have a hangover, you have.
No, not everybody. Okay. Not everybody. Not everybody.
Okay.
Please give us some sound medical advice here, doctor. Don't listen to Dean. Scientific. Yeah.
So the science says that there is no rule that you cannot have alcoholic beverages after the jab.
Okay.
It's just about common sense, isn't it? So I would suggest wait a couple of days, wait for the the reaction of the vaccine to settle down, and then after that you can enjoy.
We must stress here that we are not encouraging you to consume alcoholic beverages.
Absolutely not.
Do not.
I do not
consume alcoholic
it's
beverages.
Bad for you.
Disclaimer.
Bad
but
for you.
If you must, So
then
wait a few
that's
days.
why, Dean, I think you timed your vaccine to accommodate for the long weekend, I hear.
I had no choice in the matter because it was on that was the day that they were having the vaccine drive in our neighborhood.
Sure. That's right. Yeah. I think he set that up. So doctor, now tell us, the vaccine which we are getting is the AstraZeneca.
Correct.
Is it the best one available?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Okay.
There are multiple vaccine products that are available, and there are different trials that have shown the efficacy of all of them.
Right.
I can't say it's the best one available, but it is one of the best ones.
One of the best.
It's not the worst one.
This is not the worst one. There are about 4 or 5 vaccines.
Okay, so what's the worst one? Is it the Sputnik?
Sputnik 5.
There is no as I said, we go by science, isn't it?
Yes,
so
yes.
If we go by evidence, so far as the Sputnik is concerned, the evidence as far as international evidence is concerned is lacking, let's say.
Right. Okay.
So I'm not going to
doesn't mean it's bad. There's no evidence.
At the moment we don't have enough evidence, I would say, to say it's good or bad, let's say. So I would suggest to go with something that we know that is good. So the one that we are getting, it's pretty good. So I wouldn't put it down as a bad one.
Now, another question, Dr. Chamara, is the side effects from the vaccine.
Yes.
Some people have it, some people don't. Dean had some side effects. You said you had some side effects.
Yeah.
I had none.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It doesn't work.
Zero side effects.
Does it mean that it doesn't work on Tushan?
That means Tushan is a baby.
Oh, okay. Really? Why? What?
So basically, there are
he tends to be a baby sometimes.
I'm a little bit of a baby. Yeah.
There are a few theories going around as to why some people react to this worse than others.
Right. I even wanted to take an off day, but I couldn't because I wasn't feeling bad.
The one theory is that the older you are, the less reactive you will be.
What?
So now you know, show grammar. So the old man in the studio is
What?
So Tushan, maybe you're not as young as you think you are.
I'm feeling that day by day. Yeah.
But yeah, there are differences. It depends on your body, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
about your own immunity. So the reason that you react to this, the jab is basically your immune response to it. So if you have a very strong immunity, sometimes you will feel it a bit worse than others.
Right.
So that's why you get this fever and body aches, etc. That's your body working against the vaccine and kind of producing your antibodies. So you kind of feel it sometimes, and
Right.
that's what like babies,
So
for example.
doesn't mean if you don't have a reaction that your body is not working hard.
Not necessarily.
it?
Not
Yeah.
necessarily. It depends from person to person. So I'm not going to say that just because you didn't have a reaction to it, that means the vaccine didn't work for you. That's wrong. It's just about it varies from person to person. But it's a natural reaction, to be honest, to get these side effects from the vaccine.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure listeners who already have kids,
Right.
you give your kids your usual vaccines, isn't it?
Yes.
And one of the things that happens to them after the vaccine is that they get a couple
fever.
of days of fever.
Yes,
Correct.
correct.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty much the same thing that we get as adults.
Right.
It's just that we probably haven't had a vaccine in such a long time, isn't it? We can't remember what it feels like to get one.
Correct.
So that's probably the thing. And there's a lot of drama going around. I know there are people who are in, as we say in Sinhala, hataragate, unable to get out of bed. But it's. I think it's just a bit of an overreaction, to be honest. It's about, it's something good for us, isn't it? That's why we are getting it. And it's something that will help to, get this pandemic done and dusted,
Yes.
isn't it? So I
Yes,
think
correct.
as far as getting it concerned, don't be disheartened by the fact that people are telling you I'm getting this fever and body aches
Yes.
after the vaccine. I don't want, and don't think that I don't want to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Go and get it.
More than the body aches and the stuff, the fever, some people are not getting it because they think it's going to convert your body into a 5G antenna.
But there are different ones, isn't it?
yeah.
If I get the questions that are asked, will I get,
Will I be able to have children?
Yes, exactly. Will I be able to have children? Will I grow a tail and horns?
Yeah, I know. All those questions.
Yeah, so all of those are. So,
So-
there's a term that
Anti-vaxxers.
Anti-vaxxers, it's called. So the pandemic is that it's called an infodemic. So so much of misinformation.
Bad information, yeah.
Yeah. So now they're calling it the WHO actually is calling it an infodemic.
Right. So in your expert opinion, doctor, what would be the appropriate punishment to impose upon people who don't take the vaccine? What's a good punishment?
14 days in quarantine with Dr. Sunit.
Brilliant.
But there is also another story. It's again.
Sorry, man.
It's again a story. It's just not something that's published. Them saying that if you need to maybe get into a hospital in the future and you don't have the card which says that you've been vaccinated, you might not be able to get in. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, it's very, very important to keep that card safe
Yeah.
because a couple of reasons. Yes, so that's proof that you already had the first vaccine,
Right.
obviously. And yes, so the other one is that if the second jab has to be of the same brand, essentially. You
Correct.
Basically, to show that proof that you had this AstraZeneca one, for example,
Yes.
and and the batch that was given also.
Yeah.
So you need to keep that safe and sound. So if you don't have that card with you, you will be in trouble.
Yeah, so-
you will not be given that second jab.
Correct. Hold on to that card because it's a very special card. It's very difficult to forge and reprint and all that, right? So, and write it with a ballpoint pen on it. Very difficult. I'm being facetious. Sorry.
Let's take some commercials and come back.
Yeah. Okay. We have time.
Okay, we have
time to take a question.
Okay. This one says, good morning, guys. Actually, first dose will give about 60 to 90% coverage.
Is that right, doctor? Is that right?
It's approximately 70-75% is what they are saying.
Good odds.
Yeah, not bad.
Harsha goes on to
Not
say
bad.
second dose will be 70 to 90%.
Right.
And it will take about 2 weeks to develop the immunity.
Yeah, Harsha, the doctor is here to tell us this.
Is that true?
We don't need you to tell us that.
Is it
If you
correct?
ask the questions, we'll ask him.
It takes about at least 2 weeks. What they're saying is about 4 weeks. If to be 100% sure, it's about 4 weeks.
Okay.
Right.
And even though both doses taken, still there's a little chance that you can get the disease. And as a whole population isn't vaccinated, we have to continue wearing masks and social distancing.
Absolutely, that is a very, very important point.
But after the vaccination, you the chances of you dying are very, very minute, right?
So basically, exactly. So the whole point of all these vaccines, not only the AstraZeneca one, the Pfizer one, the Moderna one, the vaccines are catered basically to prevent severe disease. So basically, as Sushant mentioned, the chances of you dying is less, but that doesn't mean that you're immune to it in general. That
Yes.
you might still get the asymptomatic one.
Right.
You might just get a normal cough and a cold,
Right.
etc. But the chance of you dying and getting a severe disease is less. But as the person who just messaged said, that it's very, very important to just because you've had the vaccine, that means you are not Superman or Superwoman. You need to still maintain social distancing, wash your hands, wear masks, etc. The usual regulations have to still go for.
Also, so you should not inject bleach, right? We've heard about this, injecting
yeah,
bleach.
unless-
You're not supposed to do that, right?
Unless you hate yourself again.
No injecting bleach.
No bleach.
A president said it. A president
Yeah.
said it. No injecting bleach.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Ex-president.
Ex-president. Okay, cool.
Let's take some commercials and come back. It's 8:16. Sanjay asked this question early in the morning. Sanjay wanted to know if testicular pains after a vaccine is normal.
Depends on where they vaccinated you. I mean, depends on where the injection went.
Absolutely. I hope that they didn't inject you in a wrong place.
No, let's not laugh about it.
Yeah. Well, it's an unusual side effect, if I were to say so.
Right.
But if you, my best advice would be, if it does continue for a day or two, better to go and meet a doctor.
Yes.
Get it checked out.
Yeah, and tell your wife to stop kicking you.
We got Mahesha who says AstraZeneca does not need minus 80 degree storage.
So now the doctor, just on that, the administration of the injection,
Yes.
right? It's not in a minus degree.
No, that's the good thing about the AstraZeneca vaccine is that it does not need to be stored in minus 70 degrees. That's
Right.
what the Pfizer is
Correct.
recommended.
So what is the storage for AstraZeneca?
usual
requirement?
refrigeration temperature?
So that's
Normal.
fine then.
Yes,
Very
normal,
cool.
normal.
Okay.
Mithila says, good morning guys and distinguished guest. Can a person who had a bypass surgery get the vaccine?
Yeah, so that's a very, very important question, and that's, to be honest with you, that's the number one question that I'm asked, and I'm getting phone calls from all my patients as well with regard to this, because I've had so many patients who have had bypass surgery, they've had stents, etc. So the simple answer is yes, and you can get the vaccine. And there's nothing against getting the vaccine if you had any surgery, bypass surgery, stents, any heart problem, and what we call non-infectious diseases. So basically, diabetes, high blood pressure,
Right.
cholesterol, epilepsy or seizures, as we call it. Anything. If you are taking medications for any condition, which is long-term medications, there is no reason why you cannot have the vaccine. So
Right.
that's number one, and that's what I would like to actually tell people as well, and make them to educate them basically that
Sure.
that don't be afraid of getting the vaccine just because you take medications for some condition.
Right.
Okay.
And if you don't mind me adding to this as
Yes,
well.
yes.
So the second question that I'm asked is, now, for example, people who have had bypass surgery, those who have had stents, some of them are on medications such as blood thinners.
Yeah,
So then the other question that I'm asked is, doc, do I have to stop the blood thinners before getting the vaccine? Because the vaccine, that's a very good question as well, because the vaccine is actually given into your muscle.
Okay.
And into the arm and into the muscle. So again, the answer is, if you are taking blood thinners such as aspirin, or another one called clopidogrel, which is again another blood thinner for people who had bypass
Correct.
and stents, etc., you can continue. You don't have to stop them.
Sure.
Yeah. But there are some stronger blood thinners which are given for people who had, like, for example, mechanical valves.
Right.
So it's a tablet called warfarin. You may have heard about it. It's more of a stronger blood thinner. So those who are taking warfarin, that can be a little tricky, because that is a very strong blood thinner, and getting an injection into your muscle can cause a bit of bleeding inside. So sometimes we do say stop it for a couple of days before the vaccine.
Right.
But so if you are taking something like that, speak to your doctor, speak to your cardiologist or somebody, and get the best advice before getting the jab. But in general, if you are the answer is yes. If you had any surgery, bypass, stents, any disease, you are eligible, and there is no reason why you cannot have the vaccine.
Excellent.
Now, they also ask you not to wet the area where you get the jab.
Yeah.
For about 3 days.
Yeah, that's
Why is that?
yeah, that's a bit of a controversial thing to be
And
honest. So-
also the lady who jabbed Dean said Budu Saranai and jabbed him.
is that for Dean or for herself?
No. For everybody who got the jab. Yeah.
Mata budu saranai kela.
I don't know. She did it. Very kind of her.
Yeah.
In Dean's case, not applicable.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think maybe she fancied Dean. No?
But tell us about getting that place area.
Yeah, so the most important thing is when you get the jab there, don't massage the area. So
Too bad. We all did that.
no dodgy massages. Don't massage the area. But
Did
there
you
is
massage it?
again, there is no scientific basis for this. So my mother had it a couple of days ago, and we had this whole conversation that and she was told not to bathe for 3 days.
Correct.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, there is no scientific basis
Yeah.
to say don't bathe for 3 days, and
Yeah.
that very arbitrary 3 days as well, isn't it?
Smelly 3 days.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
I mean, if I bathe on the 4th day, is that okay? What if
Yes.
I bathe on the 2nd day? So
Yes.
I don't know where that evidence has come from,
True,
to be honest.
true.
So again, there is no scientific basis for that. I wouldn't say don't bathe for 3 days. You'll have a lot of a stinky population as well.
Yes.
Correct.
But yeah, it's the most important thing. Don't massage that area. You can massage any other area.
Right.
But not the area where you had the injection.
But everybody did, doctor. I saw everybody who took the injection just rubbing it in.
That's the thing. So don't do that.
No.
Don't,
So we all did that. What happens now?
Now, too late
I did
now.
it as well.
Now,
Tushanta Budusarana.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, so that's the best. The most important thing is don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do what Tushan did.
Yeah.
So
Dean,
why-
I'm sure
yeah.
we all did it.
No, I didn't do it.
Okay.
But I accidentally washed that area. So
Okay, yeah, washing the area is okay.
I think they're probably worried about a bacterial infection or something because of the prick. Maybe that's why they say don't wash.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so basically, the nurses who give the vaccine, they clean the area and they jab it. So you shouldn't technically be getting any bacterial infections.
right.
And just because you bathe the area or wash the area, that's
Sure.
that's not going to cause an infection, isn't it? So I wouldn't.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that
Sure.
you don't bathe.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Please
wrong.
bathe. Please. Bathe. Bathe
Yes.
everybody.
have a shower. Next one, Sonali says, good morning to the doctor. My question is, I'm an asthmatic, and is it okay for me to get the vaccine? Do I need to inform the administrator about it?
Good morning. Again, even though you're an asthmatic, again, there's nothing to. Well, it's always good to inform the person who is giving you the injection that you are taking
Yes.
medications for something, including asthma. But again, there is no reason why you shouldn't get the vaccine. Just keep your inhalers at hand, because again, these body aches and pains, etc., and you might, sometimes potentially get worsening of your asthma as well. So keep your inhaler at hand and get the vaccine.
So now these questions they're asking, Shukran's asking Dr. Shamra are becoming rhetoric now.
Yeah.
Because it's the same question being asked
Yeah.
over again. Can we flip it and ask you, when should you not get the vaccine?
Good question. Yeah,
Right?
again,
Let's do that.
absolutely. So there are quite limited number of reasons as to why you shouldn't get the vaccine, and the number one thing is if you are allergic to any of the components of the vaccine. So again, it depends from person to person. So for example, if you are allergic to, for example, dust or something like that, it's again not a reason why you shouldn't get the vaccine.
Yes.
But there are certain protein particles, for example, that may be allergic. So if you are somebody who has had severe allergic reactions to something where it required hospitalization and etc., maybe
Right.
you might want to reconsider, maybe get an opinion from a specialist. We have the so-called immunologists who are specialists with regard to allergies, so better get an opinion from them. We sometimes have to prepare you guys better, give some medications before the vaccine, so you can't straight away go and get the jab. But again, you still can get it, but you need to be prepared. The other category who cannot get the vaccine at the moment, again because of lack of evidence,
Right.
is pregnant ladies.
Right.
So again, the reason is we don't know. There's not enough evidence because these vaccines are all new, isn't it? So
Right.
we don't know what if you give it to a pregnant person, what the outcome might be.
Right.
They also
So-
say for mothers who breastfeed as well.
So the AstraZeneca vaccine, what they are saying though is that can be given for breastfeeding mothers.
Okay.
Right.
It's just pregnant ladies.
And that's
at the
only
moment.
due to lack of evidence.
Due to lack of evidence,
Okay.
exactly. So hopefully in the near future we will get some evidence to say that
fine.
For example, the Pfizer vaccine, which is available in other countries, can be given in pregnant ladies.
Right.
Okay.
So it's just that the AstraZeneca one does not have evidence at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, it's just that they haven't done the research
Testing,
enough
yeah.
research into it.
Yes.
Cool. All right, we're going to take a few more questions from Dr. Chamara. We'll pick out a few interesting questions rather than ask the repetitive questions. And then we've got to let him go because he's got an important appointment as well to attend to this
Yeah,
morning.
we can talk about it. I mean, he's got a patient with a heart attack waiting for him.
Well, potentially.
Potential.
There's a patient who potentially has one
Potentially.
who I have to attend to.
8:32. Doctor Who?
Dr. Chamara. Dr. Chamara.
Yeah. Top of mind concerning.
Yeah, correct. Right, so moving on to more questions over here. Lakmal says, Doctor, we took Panadine soon after coming home after the vaccine. Should we take after we get fever or soon after we get the shot? Please clarify. And also goes on to say, health staff at the vaccine center said better to take Panadine as soon as you reach home, because once you get fever, it won't be that effective.
Yes, again, a good question. So basically, I can talk from my own personal experience after getting the vaccine myself. What I did was, as I took the Panadine 2 tablets as I got the jab myself.
Right.
And then every 6 hours, I took it on the dot. I even set up an alarm to get up in the middle of the night to take the 2 Panadines. And basically, the theory I was going by is I wanted to take the Panadol or the Panadine before the fever started.
Right.
So, and what I felt was, listening to stories from the others, is that if you take the Panadol or Panadine after the fever starts, it's kind of a no going back kind of scenario where the fever may not settle down. So if you take it just before and just a couple of minutes before the fever starts,
Right.
I think you are at a better wicket basically.
Okay.
Now, what does it mean for someone like someone who didn't have to take any Panadol or Panadine?
Are you talking about yourself, Dean?
Yeah. I didn't take any.
You're the exception to the rule, I think.
But you got fever, you said. You got a little bit of a fever.
Not fever per se. I felt feverish, but I didn't have a fever per se.
The explanation again, Dean, is I think you're probably older
Old.
than you think you are.
It's the age.
But yeah, again,
It's
it
the
depends
age.
from person to person. To be honest, some people can survive without anything, I guess, and you are definitely. You're probably the first person that I'm hearing. To be
My
honest.
wife didn't either.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's something.
I'm
that
wondering.
happened.
I'm
Do you
wondering.
think
Did they actually give us the jab?
Yeah.
වතුරක් දන්නේ නැතුනේ.
Also, could it have been that you have been COVID positive before and now you're cured? You didn't know about it. You were asymptomatic and you're cured, and then you got what happens then, doctor?
Again, it's hard to predict, to be honest. So the only way to know whether you've had COVID or not is to check antibodies, and that's a blood test that is done, but it's not easily available
Okay.
to check antibodies, so to know if you had COVID or not. I'm pretty sure there are certain people in the population who have unknowingly had COVID
Yes,
as well, to be
yes,
honest with you. I'm pretty
yes.
sure that's there as well. But to answer the question, just because you didn't have a reaction to it doesn't mean that you had COVID or not. Potentially, if you had COVID, actually it will be the opposite, because if you already have had antibodies in you and you get the vaccine, you probably will react a bit more towards it. And you probably will have the side effects a little bit more stronger than not having anything at all. So,
Okay.
that's all theoretical, to be honest. So again, as I said, the only way to know whether you've had COVID or not is to check antibodies.
All right. Crystal has a question. Says, I'd like to know for how long is the vaccine valid after we get the booster?
So yeah, basically the vaccine. So again, to go back to the theory of it. So this the COVID disease itself is a virus. So it's basically a common virus that is seen all over the world, and the jab that we are getting is essentially what we call the influenza jab. So it's something that's given in other countries.
Right.
It's a seasonal one, so that's once a year. So basically, the vaccines that are produced are the same type of vaccines that are seasonal jabs. So once a year. So usually, I think the
Will the world have to
theory is
go
that
in
it
for a second jab the next year?
Probably yes.
Okay.
Probably yes. Nobody knows at the moment.
But probably by that time, COVID would no longer be around.
Nobody knows. They're saying
Nobody
that
knows.
you can never say when COVID will actually disappear.
Right.
So we'll have to wait and see. So the 1 year is basically the duration as to how long the vaccine will work is actually 1 year.
I think the problem is maybe with the versions of the virus which are getting mutant now.
Yes.
Mutated versions of the virus. Some of these vaccines might not be effective against those, right?
Yes, again, there are trials going on as to how effective these vaccines are against the new variants and the mutations. Again, so that's the difficult thing about viruses, isn't it? That's why we haven't had the ability to find a proper cure or a vaccine for HIV, for example, which is again a virus because it kind of changes its shape and size every time. Evolution, and it's kind of that's the difficult thing about viruses. So it's a natural thing that these viruses go through mutations, etc., and it can be very difficult to control. So basically, some vaccines may not be as effective as others. So far, thankfully, miraculously actually, because it's not easy to produce vaccines as well so fast. So far the vaccines that we've had, most of them are effective against most of the mutated strains as well. So far so good, but we can never say what will happen in the future. So we just have to be careful.
Kendall Hopman says, guys, it's okay to be facetious and tell listeners.
He's calling you. He's calling you.
Listeners to take what you say with a bucket of salt, but you are doing a disservice when you.
Since he's calling you, can I do this? He says, guys, it's okay to be facetious and tell listeners to take what you say with a bucket of salt. But you're doing a disservice when you sow confusion on the subject of vaccines. Please note that COVAX is not the name of the vaccine. It's an aid program under which vaccines are donated to poorer countries. The vaccines donated would be one of the receiving countries which they approve. And FYI, Sri Lanka has not approved any Chinese vaccine yet. Dean.
Somebody's not happy.
Thanks,
Dean,
Mr. Hopman.
That was for Dean. That one was for Dean. We get scolded sometimes.
We do.
Who's this? Rukshan says, should a person who has bacterial pneumonia in the past and minor thalassemia take the vaccine?
So bacterial pneumonia is basically it's an infection. So if you have recovered from it sufficiently, there is no reason why you cannot get the vaccine again. Thalassemia again, no problem at all. You are still eligible to get the vaccine.
Mayanti says, good morning, Dr. Chamara. I have palpitations every morning when I wake up and I see Shah Rukh Khan's poster on my room wall. I have been requested to mention it when I go in for any kind of surgery. Will this situation affect me when receiving the vaccination?
As long as there's no poster of Shah Rukh Khan at the vaccination center.
As long as Shah Rukh Khan is not administrating the vaccine as well, I think. Or somebody who looks like Shah Rukh Khan. Again, there is no reason as to why you shouldn't get the vaccine. You can mention it to whoever is giving it to you, but again, there's no issues at all.
Unless it's a doctor that's making you palpitate. Goodness gracious me.
Nimesha wants to know which hospital is Dr. Chamara attached to.
Would you like his phone number as well to find out if he's single?
Unfortunately, I probably cannot disclose which hospital I'm working at.
Get the app and look for his name. You'll find out which hospital he's going to be at.
That's right.
I'm sure he's going to be at...
After today, I think you're going to get a lot of calls, Dr. Chamara.
Someone Jay says, do you think that we're a bit too early to say that there is no other side effects?
So Saman Jay is an anti-vaxxer. He's a non-believer.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get that question again.
He wants to know, is it too early to say that there won't be any side effects?
Well, again, so we go by science, we go by evidence that we have, and so far the evidence says that there is no major side effects, and that's why it's been given emergency use. So we don't know what's going to happen in another 5 years, 10 years, whether you're going to grow a tail or horns or etc. But so far, if we want to get the pandemic done and dusted with, get the jab. That's pretty much the reason, because our lives have been flipped upside down, isn't it?
Yes,
so, and
absolutely.
This is the only solution.
Exactly. We've been for a year. We've been saying we hope we get a vaccination.
Exactly.
We hope we get a
soon as possible.
vaccine.
Exactly.
And now that it's come, people don't want to take it. don't
It's
understand
either,
that.
it's either this or the pannier, isn't it?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we know what has happened there.
Yeah.
Tell us your expert opinion on that one. See, our expert, our PhD in medical science or in the medical profession comes from WebMD. Here we have a real person who's really got a
Correct.
you know.
So again, my theory on the pannier is, again, I'm a man of science. I'm somebody who has learnt the books and learnt what science has taught me, basically. So if there is any scientific evidence that the pannier is good and it's going to prevent COVID or it's going to help you recover from COVID,
Isn't it supposed to be an immune booster?
Anything is, right. You have Lyme, it's an immune booster
Yeah, so
against
there are these. There are different types of I guess native treatments that
Yes.
can boost your immunities, but again, there is no evidence to say
COVID.
that it will prevent COVID or treat COVID, isn't it? So
Right,
if there is no evidence, I cannot advocate it. So
Okay.
I'm not going to be in favor of it at the
Sure.
moment. At least.
Fair enough.
Marina says.
No. Move on. Next one, Jean.
Okay, Jean says, Doctor, what about taking baths? We spoke
we
about that.
mentioned-
We
we
spoke
mentioned.
about that. Chaminda says, okay.
Too long.
Deshika says, Yevan, Sahin and Rahel says, hi to Uncle Chamara.
Yeah.
Also, can you ask him to explain what herd immunity is?
Deshika, they'll do that for the kids in school. We don't have time to do all of this.
Jitendra says, after the vaccine, can you still be a COVID carrier?
Yes, we
to
mentioned that.
non-vaccinated people?
Yes, we did. We
Greg
mentioned that.
says, hi guys, is a foreigner working in Sri Lanka with the residency still eligible to receive the vaccine?
Oh, to be honest with you, I'm not qualified enough to answer that question.
I don't think so, right? Go back to your own country and get the vaccine. What do you do here? Take
Yeah,
up all our vaccines.
Sure, Donald.
Could I go back to Deshika's question and answer that herd?
The herd immunity.
Yeah, okay.
So it's So I think that's a good question.
We were
as
heading
well.
there before the vaccine came, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. So herd immunity was something that some countries were advocating actually before the vaccine, as Tushar mentioned, before the vaccine was available. So it's pretty much about immunizing each other through infection, basically. So basically getting somebody, basically if we kind of trust our own immunity, essentially, that we feel that if we get the infection ourselves, we will, again, because it's a virus, and you will get that antibodies and you will be immune to it, and then it will spread across the community, basically.
At the cost of many numbers of deaths.
Potentially, yeah.
Survival
So it's a
of the
bit
fittest.
Survival of the fittest, essentially. So it's a bit of a risky maneuver. And before the vaccine was available, that was one of the strategies that some countries were trying to adopt, but it's not the best way to do it.
Absolutely.
I've been looking at his phone. There are
It's going off.
two hospitals called him
There are a
already.
million questions, doctor, but we can't keep you any longer. I think you're needed this morning.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shamara, for
It's
coming
been my
over.
pleasure. Thank you very
It's
much
been
for inviting me.
wonderful speaking to you. Very knowledgeable, very eloquent, and
Yeah.
educated on the subject, and a man of science, as you said, which we need right
you
now.
very much.
Correct.
So thanks a lot for joining us. Old Mahanamian and Thomian as well, we heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 year in Mahanam doesn't count. You can't call him a Mahanami. He just went to have 1 year.
So thanks. We'll look forward to speaking to you again soon.
It'll be my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Anything you want to finish off with? Anything on your mind which you want to tell us?
Get the jab.
Get the jab,
Get
right?
the jab. Get the jab.
That's pretty much it. Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks,
Doc.
Jamana. Thanks,
My
Doctor. Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
My